Hello, Ram fans. Welcome back from spring break. I'm Cory Odom.
And I'm Maddie Warren. I think we all know the madness of March has officially kicked in. And I just got to know, how's your bracket doing so far, Cory?
Not good. I had in my best bracket, that's in like the 99th percentile, I had the Wisconsin Badgers winning the entire thing.
And how'd that go?
Well, they lost in the first round to the 12th seeded Oregon. But as you can see in this clip, it was all about shutting down kind of the standard gameplay that Wisconsin kind of goes to, where people like Nate Reavers actually had the first three-pointer of the game, outscored Ethan Happ with 14 points, and Khalil Iverson actually showed up too. So Oregon's great defense really kind of shoved Wisconsin off of what they wanted to do.
Right, and shutting guys down like Ethan Happ is kind of their best bet, and that's why they came in and won that game. And with Oregon coming into the tournament, you know, they had to go on a 7-game win streak just to get there.
Right.
And so now I think they're kind of at a point where it's like, yeah, let's see how long we can do this.
They're red hot right now.
Oh, absolutely. And looking at guys like Ethan Happ and, you know, shutting down like the big guy on a team, Zion Williamson and Duke, UCF cut them really, really, really close. With a guy like Zion going up against that whole team, you shut him down. And I don't know how much of a chance Duke really has.
Right. Well, it's one of those things where there's three kind of star players on that team. There's Zion, there's RJ Barrett, and there's Cam Reddish. And they are all amazing players, but it seems as though they're never amazing at the same game. So as far as teams go, I think that Duke has one of the highest ceilings of anybody in the entire tournament, but I'm just not sure if they're playing to their skill potential right now, while other teams who might not have the same kind of potential might be playing at their absolute best right now.
Yeah, and well, that's what I'm seeing with Duke is, to me, Duke doesn't feel like a championship team. Zion Williamson feels like a championship team. And when you have you know, but when you have a team like Duke, they got to come in, they have to be a great team, and then you bring a guy like Zion, and he just makes you even greater. You can't rely on that one guy. And if he's overshadowing, you know, RJ and Cam, then I don't know how much of a chance they have relying on that one guy.
Right. Well, there's a couple people who showed up in big tournaments, right? Like a couple of people like RJ aren't showing up right now, but who's someone who is showing or has been known to show up in tournaments?
Well, with Zion in the media so much, I think a guy who's really overlooked is Ja Morant. I mean, he shot 63% of Murray State's points in this tournament. Yeah, they got knocked out pretty early, but it's with him shooting like that, it feels like Zion's doing that.
Right. But in actuality, it's not quite
so much.
that insane of a kind of deficit as 63% of your team's points.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
is absurd.
Yeah.
But you know what? People need to be clutch. You know, who's some clutch players out there?
Well, one guy is Jordan Poole with Michigan. I mean, if we're talking about a guy and a team who have a lot of experience, Jordan Poole hitting a buzzer-beating three-pointer to put Michigan above Houston in the game last year at the tournament. I mean, they're used to this. This is their third straight Sweet 16, and they're coming in, again, red hot with the experience, with the knowledge of what they got to do.
Yeah, well, what do you think about Texas Tech, though? I mean, that's a team where pretty much, I wouldn't say there's any superstars on that team at all, but there's a bunch of role players. So you've got people who are really good at defending down low. You've got a bunch of people who are good at bringing the ball down. And they just kind of all play the role that they're meant to play, and the team's winning. So
yeah, well, and with Jordan Poole, I mean, yeah, he's obviously a superstar player, and when you say that a team doesn't have any standout players, it's usually a negative connotation. But with Texas Tech, they're a very balanced team. I mean, their 5 starters all scored in double digits, and that's you don't see that. And so I think with a team like Texas Tech being that balanced against Michigan, I honestly can kind of see Texas Tech beating them.
You're going to take Texas Tech over Michigan? Not in this household.
I think City would agree with you.
I'm gonna go with Michigan on this one. I just think that I'm a big Big Ten fan, and I think that very strong division. I think that they've really been showing up. All the Big Ten teams have a really good defense, which kind of forces other conferences to kind of play differently than they want to. And I think Michigan is just a really hot team who knows when to be clutch.
Fair.
But I don't have them winning the tournament.
You have another Michigan school winning the tournament,
I do.
You? Yeah.
And they're notorious for not being clutch or, you know, choking terribly. So
But you have them winning.
Yes, I have that exact team winning the entire thing. And let me tell you why. All right, let me break this down.
Okay.
I think that Tom Izzo, clear Hall of Famer, coming forward, right? He's got a talented group with Cassius Winston, and he's gonna go and he's gonna be able to lead. And I think really for me, where Michigan State kind of steps up is in their transition basketball, right? And one of those things that you can't really see on paper as well, but really shows up in the tournament is kind of teams that play fast, I think tend to do really well.
Yeah.
And we just talked about how Michigan is a great team. Michigan State's beat them multiple times this season. Yeah. So it's like, great team that beats great team.
What does that mean?
Easy math for me, Michigan State to the top.
All right. Okay, so if you're talking about game pace, then let's take a look at Tennessee and Purdue.
Right.
I mean, Purdue's a team that's kind of notorious, not necessarily for being, a win from the get-go team, but they're pretty notorious for some upsets. But like you were saying, fast-paced teams are the teams that are probably going to win this tournament and are most likely to win this tournament. And I really see Tennessee coming in and kind of disrupting a little bit of Purdue's game and rushing them a bit and forcing them to make some mistakes that are going to cost them.
Whoa. You don't think Carson Edwards is going to get 42 points against Tennessee?
I think Tennessee is going to do everything in their power to keep him anywhere under 42 points.
That's fair. I don't think he's going to get 42 points either. But I think the way that he shoots, you saw in that clip we just played, it's so smooth, it's so easy that as soon as he gets the ball, teams sprint towards him, right? And that just opens it up for all of his forwards and his centers just to get kind of easy points down low. Yeah. And they average over 70 points, and their opponents average in the 50s for points. So again, with the Big Ten having a really good kind of defensive showing.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. And the Big Ten, they're coming out a lot stronger than Pac-12. I mean, yeah, we have Oregon, who's upset your bracket a little bit. I'm so sorry. But as far as basketball goes, Pac-12 isn't really a basketball conference, at least not this year.
That's some bold words there for you. But you know what is exciting? Spring break is a time for many students to relax over the course of the shortest week in history. But for some Colorado State basketball players, they made one of the harder decisions of their entire lives. 3 basketball players have decided to open their transfer portal over this last week. First, Zoe Tyson tweeted out that he was transferring during break. But he's not alone. Today, Anthony Massington Bonner took to Twitter to say, "I cannot thank Ram Nation enough for the experiences I've had here. I've made memories and connections here that I will forever be grateful for. Fort Collins will forever hold a special place in my heart." Deion James isn't one to be outshadowed and was quick to follow by tweeting, "I've become a better man and a better person thanks to the coaches, teachers, students, and boosters. I want to especially thank my teammates for a wonderful time and for being such a great family to me. I'll keep you updated on any other transfers as they happen."
Looking at a pretty rock-solid team, the CSU softball team is red hot and shows no sign of cooling down anytime soon. The Rams are currently on a 14-game winning streak, solidified with a strong series performance against the New Mexico Lobos. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, the strength of this Rams team this season are their bats. 2 of their 3 games on the road last weekend were finished in 5 innings. In Sunday's game, senior Amber Nelson went 3 for 3 with 3 doubles. Lots of threes. New Mexico shortstop Cameron O'Grady went 2 for 2 at the plate and batted in one of the Lobos' 3 runs. In CSU's final game against the Lobos, the Rams also docked 3 home runs to give them the win 16-3 in the final game of the away series. The Rams are currently sitting at the top of the Mountain West with a 6-0 record in conference play. That ranking is CSU's best since the league formed in 2000.
Well, Ram, don't go anywhere because later in the show we'll be bringing you a flip or flop that you won't want to miss. Plus, the Triple J Pick'em Challenge is all about March Madness, and Casper Cut will be bringing you one special play of the week coming up next.
Nice. We did.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
How's it going, Rams? Welcome to Castro's Cod. I am Litos Castro, here to give you the rundown of what's to come up in CSU Sports this week. We are back. Don't worry. I missed you too. I know. We got a short week of sports coming up, but don't worry. We're going to still have a ton of fun with it. So, without further ado, let's get rolling right into it. Let's start with the softball team. 14-game winning streak. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Let's see if they can keep it going. They're going to start off tomorrow at UNC. Game starting at 4 in the afternoon for you. Then, if they keep the streak going there, they're going to look to continue it on Friday through Sunday when Utah State comes to town for 3-game series there. Friday starting at 4, Saturday at 1, and on Sunday at noon. Speaking of hot streaks, we got baseball also starting one on their own. They're on a 4-game win streak right now, looking to make it 5 on Wednesday. CSU taking on Metro State and UNC. First, Metro State's going to be on Wednesday, and then on Saturday, Sunday, they have a 4-game series against UNC. Both of those days will have games starting at 10 in the morning and at noon to follow right afterwards. Let's serve ourselves up some tennis next. Friday, CSU has the Falcons coming over. That matchup, starting at 2 in the afternoon. And then on Sunday, the Lobos coming from New Mexico face off against the Rams. That's going to be at 10 in the morning. Then let's kick it back with the soccer team. Women's soccer, they have a doubleheader coming up. On Saturday, they're going to face off against some school called CSU Pueblo. I don't know. Game starts at noon for you. Then right afterwards, they'll be taking on their host, UNC, starting around 1:30 for you. All right, Rams, it's time for your top play of the week. Let's roll this one. All right, you're looking at Tyler Hernandez with this play right here. Look at that spin move. I love this. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what this is power soccer, sport designed for anybody that uses a wheelchair. The players are people that suffer from strokes, spinal cord injuries, and many other disabilities. Tyler Hernandez is just one of many players like this, and that's just an incredible play. So you got to give us some credit. Shout out to Tyler Hernandez and all of his fellow players. I love that stuff. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you this week at CSU Sports. But don't go anywhere, because when we come up next, the Triple J Pick'em Challenge have their March Madness brackets filled out. They're all busted, but what are you going to do? Don't worry, guys. We'll be right back.
What's up, Henry?
Hey, Julia. What's up?
What are you drinking your coffee out of this morning?
I don't even know.
Yeah, no. You should fix that.
It's uninspired.
You got to get in this 905 club. Let me tell you.
So if I donate $90.50, I can be part of this club?
It's got mugs, it's got shirts, and it's all dedicated to KCSU.
Well, I guess I'm going to donate to Club 905 because I support local college radio. What about you?
Hello, Rams, and welcome back. I'm Jessica Mendoza, and I'm joined by Jason Ortiz and Jared Stratton. Before we left for spring break, we had our picks for the Mountain West tournament, and let's take a look at how we're doing. And by that, I mean, let's look at me in first place again.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Here we go. I got 19.
You took all the easy picks in the Mountain West bracket.
That's interesting.
Look at
no
me.
upsets, really.
Back where I belong.
Hey,
for the record, I did go much better than anyone else last week, 9 for 12.
And you did pick the Mountain West champion, right, as well?
Yes, I got Utah State in there.
Gotta give you props for that.
And I should have went for, and I also will give a shout out to Cory Odom as well. He gave me the advice right before I went on air. He's like, Utah State's going to win, and I got to trust Cory. I have to trust him.
I know. We should say he did change his pick right before the show from my Nevada to Utah State. So.
And I couldn't be more correct by that. I mean, Cory as well.
And they both got bounced in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So.
Oh, yeah.
Now here we are.
Jason, where are you on the list again?
I told you I'm where I belong on the bottom, all right?
I love that.
Accepting
Well,
of
we
it.
all have bracket busters and Sweet 16 predictions ready for you. So, Jason, why don't you start off by telling us what games have busted your bracket?
So, if you look at this, the state of Kansas really just did me in, right? I had Kansas State, forgot Dean Wade got hurt, didn't know he's not going to play, which is why they got beat by the Anteaters of UC Irvine. But they probably would have got blown out by Oregon anyways. And then Kansas.
Go Ducks.
I mean, Bill Self, I'm a little disappointed. But what can you say? The rest of them, 14 out of 16.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was pretty
Honestly,
pretty chalk.
that is
give it up
very
there,
good.
yeah.
I will give you that.
Yeah.
Really
You know,
far.
some light work.
Yeah, just.
Well, let's see how you did, Jared. Let's see it.
Let's look one more for mine as well. It's almost as red as my hair. So my biggest one was Marquette and Louisville going out so early, especially Louisville.
Yeah.
I remember our very early prediction. I predicted them to go to the top. Of course, I didn't do it this year. I didn't do it as soon as I put in my brackets this year. But with Louisville, I was expecting them to go a lot better than they could have.
Yeah, Louisville.
I was very mad, and I know some other people that chose them to win it all, but like those are the ones that really got me mad. And of course, Kansas, the whole state as well, has been annoying me. But just that Louisville has just really got me down.
John Morant really got you on the Marquette one too.
Yeah, I was crying.
That was really just one-on-one because
true.
Marcus Howard versus John Morant was basically that whole game.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, as much as I hate to show you guys mine, here it is. These are my bracket busters. I know you guys are probably wondering about Maryland and Northern Kentucky. Guess you could say I was trying to be a little bit cute there, trying to get lucky and think outside the box, picking a Cinderella. Clearly completely missed the mark there. Purdue kicking out Villanova. Villanova only had 24 at half. I expected more from the reigning national champs. Couldn't really do much about that one there. LSU barely knocking off Maryland. It was a 2-point game. So, just totally out of my control. I think I made the right picks. But
What was Northern Kentucky, like a 14 seed or 15?
Yeah, they were down.
They were way down there.
I was trying to think out of the box,
But yeah, at least you were the only one to pick Oregon.
Hey, to be fair,
That's
there's
true.
only one perfect bracket left out there. So let's take a look at that.
Yeah, I don't think we have a graphic for that, but
Well,
I don't think it'll be perfect any longer because, one, they have Gonzaga winning it all, and Gonzaga is probably like the 5th best team in the country right now left in the tournament. Yeah, probably not even.
No.
And they have UNC losing to Kentucky, which is Kentucky's still playing without their best player. So I don't know how anybody can pick Kentucky to go to the national championship game.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy that there's only one perfect bracket left out there, and we're so early into this tournament still.
Yeah.
It's just the crazy part of March Madness, I guess.
Not going to be perfect for long, though.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's only fair that we end our Final Four predictions for the tournament. Jared, let's see your Final Four.
All right. So with my Final Four, my very first one and the most obvious one is going to be Duke. Duke, everyone knows them. Everyone knows they're the top team, except for Jessica. She thinks they're not, but of course they are. Duke, with Zion Williamson, there's no way they're going to be able to stop him. Taco Fall was able to slow him down, but I don't really think that's really going to happen again. There's not another 7'6" player to play against for Duke. And then I also have Michigan going in as well. It's not just because my boss likes Michigan.
Are you sure?
Of course.
Are you
No,
sure?
they're playing in a very tough division right now. They're 7-3 versus top 25 teams. That is a very good record to have, and they're allowing 52 points per game. They have a tremendous defense.
So does Texas Tech, their next opponent.
Yeah, see, that one, I think if flips and Texas Tech ends up winning, I think they're going to go to the Final Four, but I don't think they are. I think Michigan has a stronger defense in this. And then also we have, with the South, I have Tennessee going in there as well. Tennessee, they have Grant Williams, and they have a strong 82 points per game. They have been on fire before the tournament, and I don't think it's going to slow down now. And then the last one, I think everyone has it. Everyone predicted it, UNC. A lot of veteran leadership in there, a lot of young players as well. I think it's a great mix for them. I don't see them not getting in the top 4.
I guess you're just hoping Tennessee doesn't blow another 25-point lead. Because that was embarrassing.
I'm just going to wait for your Final Four pick, actually.
Yeah, I actually think it's really interesting that you picked Tennessee, because wasn't that the team you guys gave me a really hard time for picking Tennessee?
We've given you a hard time over a lot of teams, not just Tennessee.
That is true.
Well, hey, I was right the last time.
That is true.
Oh, and looky there.
Wow. Well.
Is that what you're doing this week?
But remember when we made those 2 early picks? You know, he brought it up earlier already.
Yeah.
That was
tough. Oh.
Yikes.
Oh, yikes. That's even tougher.
Oh.
And look, me and Jason still in the running. I love the way we're looking at
Wow.
Jared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jared looks mad because
Okay,
he's like,
I will gladly defend Louisville right now. Louisville, they beat UNC on the road. in that whole season. They were like actually playing way better than anyone anticipated them to play. And I anticipated them to keep on going, but I ended up seeing that Duke game, and then I had to say no against it. And that was before I saw the Duke game. Mm. And they honestly almost beat Duke.
It's too late. It's too late. It's all over but the
Okay, and also in that first prediction, you guys both chose #1 seeds, and everyone is predicting them. You guys choosing the easy ones. I was going out the box, throwing something in the ring. Clearly didn't work, but at least I tried.
I love it.
At least you admitted it.
All right, well, for my Final Four, I also have Duke. I think they're just going to have to start shooting better. I didn't really like the way they looked against UCF, although I think they finished the game brilliantly. I really liked how they did that. They have high basketball IQ to match with their talent, athleticism, so definitely going to go with them here. Is that sarcastic?
No, I said
we can
agree
argue
with me.
Dude.
Okay.
No.
100%.
Then I have Gonzaga. I think I'm the only one who picked them, right?
Sorry.
Are you laughing at me?
Nope.
Hey, they had a tough regular season schedule. Came out with only 3 losses.
A tough regular season. They were 1-2 versus top 25 teams. That means they played 3 top 25 teams.
They only finished the season with 3 losses.
Yeah, and 2 of them were against top 25 teams.
Yeah, they had a tough overall schedule, and they did pretty well. Josh Perkins is a playmaker and a vet, so I'm excited to see what he has to do. And we all know they like to choke in the NCAA tournament. I think that's got to end eventually. I think this is going to be a good season for them.
The problem is they're always playing against easy teams, and as soon as they're playing against hard teams, I don't see them going in.
All right, well, we'll see. Next up, I have Tennessee. They're improving all of the time.
Not Kentucky.
Oh,
I know. Tennessee, they're improving all the time. Their win over Colgate was really impressive, as well as their big win over Iowa. Jason likes to say they can't hang with the big dogs, but they did that in the SEC semis. They did beat Kentucky. So, and I know we're going to talk about that, but hey, I'm definitely picking Tennessee here. And then last but not least, as we all agree on this one, UNC. As you saw, I picked them in the way too early predictions. March Madness is madness, so I think that their experience is going to be super big for them here. We've already seen that really. Duke has struggled with that, and even Tennessee has struggled with that a little bit. So I think UNC has the upper hand on a lot of things here.
Yeah, I guess. UNC is a good team. But, and to wrap up for my Final Four predictions, I have to go with Duke, the Blue Devils. They're the most talented team in the tournament. The most talented team in the tournament. Zion, obviously, he's going to come out and just do his thing. But the thing they need to step up is Cam Reddish. He was number 3 ranked in the country coming out of high school. He hasn't shown it yet this year. He's had 2 good games. So he has to shoot the ball really well. Trey Jones, best defensive point guard in the country, he's going to have to come out and score and channel his inner Tyus Jones, who won a national championship for Duke in 2015.
Yeah, he's going to have to shoot better.
Yeah,
a lot better. The whole team's going to have to shoot a little better.
So for coming out of the West region, I have Florida State. And I'll tell you why. 3 key players on that team. Chris Kumaji. Everybody talks about Taco Fall, 7'6". Chris Kumaji, 7'4". And he's been doing it since he got to Florida State. He didn't even know what basketball was until he was like 18 years old. He was playing soccer.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah. And then you got to look at Kabengele, who averages about 14 points a game. He's 6'10". So when Kumaji goes to the bench, Kabengele comes off the bench. So you lose about 5 inches, but you gain a better score. And then Terrence Mann, he just mans you up, and he'll take you to the hole. He took John Morant to work, and that was the most impressive thing I think I've seen this tournament. And
you do know they are missing one of their better players as well, though, and Phil Colford.
Yeah, Phil Colford. Yeah.
To a very unfortunate
that
family.
he has to go home for that, but that'll make them play just a step up.
They might be a little bit out of their rhythm, though.
They might want to win for Phil just a little bit more.
Honestly, was going to go for Florida State for a little bit. They were 6-4 against top 25 teams. I think that shows a lot of greatness on their end.
Yeah, and then you got to go with Virginia. I know you're going to bring it up. They lost to a 16 seed last year.
They almost did this year.
No, almost only counts in horseshoes, all right? This is basketball. They are a number 1 seed for a reason. They got Ty Jerome, Kyle Guy, Jack Salt, who is a 7-footer, Mamadi Diakite.
Nice.
These guys are all upperclassmen who have been in the tournament the last 3 years. Sure, they lost last year. They want to win it now this year.
Every single one of those names you listed almost lost it to another 16 seed again.
They didn't almost lose.
They
won by like 20.
All right,
He's saying almost only counts in horseshoes.
Oh, sure.
All right, and then you got to go with the Midwest, UNC. Yeah, they're the best team in the country. You play zone on them, they'll turn it up. Then you play man-to-man, they'll tear you up again. And
so all #1 seeds from Jason.
No, Florida State is a #4 seed.
Oh, did you change that last minute?
No. Florida State.
Well, almost all. That's a very, okay.
Chalk.
Never mind.
Not something
What's better than chalk? Nothing.
All right.
Sorry? I want to kind of elaborate on the chalk part.
You don't know what chalk is?
All right, should I go on?
I don't know what's going on. But Ram fans, that is all we have for this week. But head to Twitter now to tell us whose Final Four you think is most likely to happen. But stay tuned because up next, Cory has all your updates from Track and Field's outdoor debut from the new track in Fort Collins. Don't go anywhere.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. CSU Track and Field opened their outdoor season this past weekend by hosting the Fun McGraw Open. Colorado State faced off against many different Colorado schools, including Air Force, Colorado, and as well as some runners from Wyoming. The Rams put up a near record-breaking performances from many different events. Most notably, redshirt freshman Jackson Morris outthrew his competitors in the javelin toss by over 40 feet to just come up 8 inches short of the school record, held by Matthias Borman all the way back in 1994, with his throw of 223 feet and 3 inches. Morris wasn't the only one throwing it out of the park this past weekend, as Shady Lawrence outthrew CSU's own second-team All-American Kelsey Bedard in the discus with her throw of 186 feet, putting her 5th all-time at CSU. Bedard finished second behind her with a throw of 170 feet and would win the hammer throw with a toss of 210 feet. Hammers and discuses weren't the only things taking the sky, as CSU's jumpers had a historic day as well. Isa Bynum won the men's long jump with a jump of 23 feet, 8 inches, which puts him 17th all-time at CSU, only to be topped by Nia Powdrell, who placed 3rd in the heat, but 7th in the CSU history book, with her long jump of 19 feet, 2.5 inches. The event rounded down with Destiny Rocker winning the women's 100 hurdles with a time of 13.81 seconds. The teams will continue on the track, but split the weekend at a Stanford Invitational in California and at the Tom Beanich Invitational in Greeley, Colorado, this Friday and Saturday.
Well, Ram fans, it's time for another week of Flip or Flop. We have this video from the UCF and Duke game with Taco Fall going up for the hook. I mean, 7'6", wingspan of 8'4". I really don't see how he can't get that. He's going to shoot over any guy that's defending him.
I mean, well, let's take a look at the shot just one time. We've got a guy who is way too big to control that huge body. Going up off the ground, you could slide a paper underneath there, and he gets blocked.
And he got a foul. Okay.
And he got a foul.
So, hey, there you go, Cory. I was wrong for a week.
It happened! All she did was overestimate a person's ability to jump.
I mean, he's tall.
He's very tall.
Tall basketball, it works.
Realistically, he probably doesn't have to jump most of the time.
Exactly. Well, Ram fans, that's all we have for you tonight. But to stay updated on sports throughout the week, be sure to follow us on Twitter at sports_CTV or head to collegian.com. I'm Maddie Warren.
And I'm Cory Odom. Tune back into CTV tomorrow for more news from the people you know and to see Jessica Mendoza and Tara Barrio bringing you more updates on the basketball transfers and what that means for the CSU basketball team. Until next week, have a great night, Rams.